So I thought that getting unstuck was done all at once. I had been learning from Porges's lectures and reading his books and his articles, and then I was also learning from Peter Levine, his books and his like YouTube videos that he's published. And I saw things that looked pretty darn miraculous. He was working with people. You may have heard of his story of Nancy, especially if you've read Waking the Tiger, but it comes up a lot. He had this client, Nancy, who was heavily traumatized. And this was the first time he had done this, where in a session with her, he recognized that she had some stuck flight energy, or stuck trauma. And he gave her this image of a tiger chasing her. And that prompted her to do this shaking, trembling, trauma releasing type of thing. And the idea is that it released the stuck trauma within her. And then there's a video of Ray where they're up on stage and Peter Levine is doing some trauma releasing stuff with him based on his somatic experiencing. And Ray has this twitch that he developed from his stuck trauma. And Peter Levine asks him to open his jaw slowly, and it seems like the trauma just kind of gets released. There's also, I think someone had sent this to me. I forget who it was, but someone sent me like access to some of his course videos, and I think that's what it was. And one of them was Peter Levine working with this baby, this infant who had some trauma, and he simply, or seemed simply, put his hand on the baby's back, and the baby had tensed up, but then released, and I think he like cried it out or something like that. But basically the trauma was just released by Peter Levine putting his hand on his back. So all these things seem like miracles, like just incredible trauma releasing moments. And yeah, it's very good trauma work as best I can tell. I think Levine does some amazing things, and I'm glad that he's sharing a lot of what he does. And I probably would, if I was ever to go back to do some sort of schooling, I would probably seek out a somatic experiencing practitioner credential, whatever you call it. So yeah, he's doing some really good work. But as it turns out, Nancy continued to work on her trauma. It wasn't just a one-time thing. I didn't cite where I got that from, but I think it was one of his books where he says he doesn't really work with clients like that exactly anymore. It wasn't just like a one-time thing, and that he took more time to slowly ease into the trauma as best I remember it. So I don't know if he regretted. I don't think he regretted doing that with her, but it sounds like something he took more time with, and it wasn't just like a one-time thing. And Ray, the soldier on stage that slowly opens his jaw and releases his trauma, that wasn't a one-time thing either. They had done some somatic experiencing preliminary work before getting up on stage, and they had some follow-up meetings as well. So it wasn't his trauma, his stuck state didn't go away all at once either. So I incorrectly thought that my therapy clients were supposed to go through this full body trauma releasing, shaking and trembling. I thought it was like all or nothing. If we could just unstuck, if we can just discharge all this trauma all at once, then that'll cure them, right? But for the most part, I was not seeing that in my clients. And the first time I did see that shaking, trembling thing, the client came back the following week. So I did something very similar where I had given the client an image, and this one for her was running to her grandmother's house, which was a safe place for her. So in this image, she was able to visualize running, which allowed for some stuck freeze energy, some flight freeze energy to discharge. And yeah, okay, great. But then she came back the next week, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a miracle. And she's going to tell me that her life is just absolutely fundamentally changed, and that she's no longer traumatized. She's succeeding in every level, in every domain, in every facet of life. But she came back the next week, and yeah, things were kind of different, but for the most part, they were living in a traumatized state, or she was, this client. I remember her telling me like she had, maybe more of a stronger emotional baseline, or less of that freeze kind of energy. But yeah, I mean, she was still traumatized. She was still very much stuck in a traumatized state. So no, it wasn't a one-time thing. So why was this? What is happening here, right? Why weren't these people and my client, why weren't they able to just access their safety state? Why weren't they just releasing their trauma? Why did these presenting problems that we were working on persist? So I'll be honest, like I was disappointed in myself. I was frustrated. I was confused. I was doubting myself as a therapist on this new somatic kind of track. But the reality is there are lots of reasons. There's plenty of reasons why they didn't have a miraculous change. That might be the present day family context. Maybe they're lacking co-regulation and they're constantly being re-traumatized. Maybe the path of trauma that they went through was not that shock trauma variety, but more of the chronic disruption of connectedness. And maybe they didn't have enough distress tolerance built up. We kind of need more of a distress tolerance, a stronger vagal brake before releasing trauma. And by the way, so that releasing trauma thing, that's not all kinds of trauma. That's more of a shock trauma kind of thing. And Peter Levine, I think, is known as someone who specializes in shock trauma. So when someone goes through a thing, or maybe multiple things, but at least a thing where that flight fight energy is frozen into their system, so they access that mixed state of freeze, so that immobilization locks in the flight fight state, that's like a shock trauma. That's more of the Peter Levine variety of releasing, that like acute life threat reaction. For the individual that maybe exists in a defensive state, but it's more due to a chronic disruption of connectedness and maybe even a full-on, or not a full-on, but a very dominant shutdown kind of state, releasing the trauma doesn't exactly apply to that person, potentially. For them, it's more of coming out of that dissociative shutdown, out of numbness into aggression, into power, into fight, their fight state. And then, so it's allowing that sympathetic energy to return, not discharging it. It doesn't quite apply the same way. But recovering from either of these paths of trauma, whether it's the acute life threat reaction or the chronic disruption of connectedness, both of these are not done all at once. I have not found that to be the case, and I haven't met that person that got, unstuck from trauma all at once. Maybe it's you, I don't know. I haven't met that person yet. Releasing a shock trauma is not just about shaking and trembling. And allowing sympathetic energy to return is not just about like willing it to do so. So there are many reasons why someone may stay stuck in a defensive state, but the similarity between all these different traumatized people or bodies or nervous systems, the similarity is that they will all have an inability or difficulty with accessing their safety state. Hey, by the way, I have something called the polyvagal checklist. I want you to be that polyvagal know-it-all. I want you to feel just absolutely full of yourself, so much so that you're annoying to other people. I want you to know it all right? Just like me. So I have this thing called polyvagal checklist. Head to the link in the description. It is the nifty gifty for this episode. And just sign up for my email list and you will get my polyvagal checklist. It has a list of everything, all the absolute essentials that you need to know about the polyvagal theory. And so you can use that as you're learning about and diving into this stuff. Just check off what you know or use it as a guide on what to learn next. Okay, so polyvagal checklist, follow the link in the description for that.
This podcast is not therapy, not intended to be therapy or be a replacement for therapy. Nothing in this creates or indicates a therapeutic relationship. Please consult with your therapist or seek for one in your area if you are experiencing mental health symptoms. Nothing in this podcast should be construed to be specific life advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only. More resources are available in the description of this episode and in the footer of justinlft.com.